Hello and welcome. My name is Stephanie and I am the Everyday Sewist. Welcome to my studio and to episode number 7. I've been doing a little bit of traveling. I have some updates to share with you and a couple of projects that I've been working on. So let's get to those and see how much I can get covered for you in the next little bit. So I guess the first thing I will mention is the quilt behind me. This is a finish from 2 years ago, and it is called the Scrappy Celebration quilt, and it was from a quilt along done by Moda Fabrics. The pattern was in an issue of American Patchwork and Quilting from the time of the sew along, and that was in I think it must have been the February issue of 2023. If I can find it, I can link it to you. Otherwise, I would go ahead and Google Scrappy Celebration. It was designed by Lisa Alexander of Moda, and she does a fabulous job with these sew-alongs and with the projects. I really love doing her projects. This one finishes at 63 by 72. And I guess the reason that I brought this one to show with you today is because Moda is starting their next round of Moda blockheads. This is blockheads number 6. And if you've never done a quilt along before, you might want to give it a try. It can be a very challenging project to do. And so it does go on over several weeks. I don't think I'm going to do this one. I've got some other things that have kind of piqued my interest at the moment. But I can tell you that I really had a fun time with this one. I think what I liked about it is that the blocks were really quite simple, and lately I've been enjoying just some simple sewing. So that is my old finish. And then let me bring out the one that I finished since the last video. So I think I had shown you before. I turned these blocks into a table runner and got it all done, got the binding on it. So let me hold this up and give you a look at it. So these were improv blocks that I put together. They were 5.5-inch blocks, I believe it was. And I think that's what I trimmed them up to. And so this runner ends up being 32 blocks, I think it was. It was 4 blocks by 8 blocks. And on the back, I used this fun print that looks like more piecing. Used kind of a geometric quilting pantograph on that, and used this a print binding that I thought kind of pulled in some of the colors. So I'm pretty happy with that finish. And believe it or not, that's the only thing that I finished since the last video. So the last time I know I shared about 5 or 6 things that I had finished working on, and this time it's just 1. So that's the way things happen sometimes. So I have, in the month of May, I've kept working on my UFOs and my works in progress, so I can update you a little bit on those. So I had been working on some sampler blocks, miscellaneous sampler blocks, from one of my calendars. I have a couple of perpetual calendars that I really like. And so when I come up to a block that I want to make, I just make it out of blue and white, blue and yellow. That's my color combination. If it needs a third color, I will do, like I said, lights and darks of blues and then pops of yellows in it. So this is going to be sort of a slow project. I have no time frame for this, and like I said, when I come up to a block that I like, I'll just go ahead and make it. And I think that's what I'll do with the Moda blockheads, is that when there's a block that they release on there that I kind of would like to try, I'll just try it and I'll make it in blue and yellow and white, and I'll add it to this pile. So over the last month, I've made 5 more blocks. So now I'm up to 13 of these, and if I can I'll just keep going and adding to it. So I'm always getting one of those, or occasionally getting those done. The next project I've been working on, I think they look kind of like vases. I don't know what you would call it. So they started as 10-inch squares, and now I have a couple of rows done. And as you can see, I flip-flopped the blocks so that I get this wavy line going across. I did a free form. Maybe I'll have to do a video on this some other time. I did a free form cutting experiment with these, but I just wanted to let you know that I've still been working on these, and I have about 5 or 6 rows put together already in like this, and then I have a couple more rows to go before I can really make it into a top, but that might happen over the next 3 or 4 weeks. The next thing that I had talked about last time, I had these star blocks all done. These are 12-inch sawtooth stars, and I used a flying geese ruler to make this part, and I made the blocks in pairs so that there's another block that's just like this, only the reverse, with this blue as the outside and then this print as the star. So this project is now a completed top. I have the backing fabric chosen, but I haven't made the backing yet, so that's the next step on that. So maybe that one will get done by the next time. And then the other project that I had that was in the works for a very long time is finally quilted, and I'm going to put the binding on that one soon. So this one was called Long Time Gone, and I'll just hold up a little corner of it. So if you look at the video from last time, I did talk about it. I think I had this one up on the wall behind me, and I chose this really beautiful, it's a pattern called, is it lichen or lichen? I don't know how you say that. The little stuff that grows on rocks, that's the name of this pattern fabric. So anyway, so that one is going along, almost done, and I might have that one for you next time. I am still working on my temperature quilt. So this is May. So May is just about over, and in another day or so I will have this one sewn onto the rest. So I'm keeping up with my temperature quilt. And I think those are the only things that I worked on. I guess I still been working on my bow ties. So here's one of my little 3-inch bow ties. And as I make bunches of these, I'll just remind you, then I make 4x4 blocks like this. And this is my leader ender that I'm working on, which means I keep a little stack of block kits right next to my machine. And as I come to a stopping point where I need to take something out from underneath the needle, I'll sew the little corners. I'll sew these little corners onto the cheddar blocks. So I've got these little cheddar blocks all ready to go. So I'm making some progress on that. I've got a few more of those blocks sewn, and it also does not have a timeline. It will probably be another couple months before I have that one done, and that's okay. I've made progress on it. That's why it's called a work in progress. So I was also going to give you, along with my whips, I was going to give you a couple of tips. And so one of my little tips is that since I recently had finished, I had taken this one off of my design wall and put the vases up onto the blue and white one up onto my design wall. One of the things I did in between is I vacuumed off that design wall, got all the threads off of there, moved all the pins off of there into the pin cushion, got it all kind of tidied up. And I really like doing that, and I do try to do it fairly often. At least once every couple of months for me is pretty often. And what that does is, besides the fact that it makes me happy, it keeps all those threads from going on to the next project and having to pull more threads off of that next project. So I get rid of all the loose threads and get to start with a clean slate on my design wall. So that's my tip for you today. If you do use a design wall, clean that off every once in a while, and then you'll have less threads going from one place to the next. So let's see. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is the Indiana shop hop, all Indiana shop hop. I live in Indiana, and so this is the first year that Shop Hop Incorporated has put together a shop hop for those of us who want to shop Indiana. And it's just been a really, really fun experience. I've completed 2 regions and still have lots of shops left to go. But I thought I would kind of tell you a little bit about it so that if there's a shop hop in your area or in your state, or if you're going to be traveling this summer, that you might look at shophopinc.com and see if they have one going on in the area that you're headed to. What you do is you buy the magazine for $12.95. And in the Indiana one, there's a listing of 53 shops that are participating in it. And I think that's a really outstanding list to work from. And they go all the way north to south and east to west of the state. And I'm assuming that if you pick one up from Michigan or Ohio or Illinois or Iowa, that it's similar. I think I counted in Michigan that it has 100 stores in Michigan on there. So That would really give you a lot to look for. So if you're going to be doing some traveling, find out and order the magazine from one of the shops, and they'll send it to you. Postage can vary greatly, but I find that it's a really good resource, and that I'm glad I have the magazine. So, do you want to see what I've gotten so far on my different days? I've divided it up into different days. There are 6 regions in Indiana, and I've completed 2 of them. So I thought I'd give you a little show and tell of what I've gotten. And one of them you've already seen. One of them is this backing fabric. It's brand new, just came out. And I picked up 3 yards of this at one of the shops that I was at. And it's already been put to use and in a quilt. So I thought that was a really great purchase. The other thing that is also in this quilt was a batting that I wanted to try. On this quilt, I decided to try bamboo batting. It's a cotton bamboo blend, 50-50 blend. And I picked that up at one of the stores and wanted to give that a try. So far I like it. I think it's going to be a pretty warm quilt. It seems like it's I wouldn't say a heavy batting, but it seems like a very warm batting as compared to Quilter's Dream, just a straight cotton batting. So if you do want a warmer batting, I'm thinking that this is going to be a very cozy quilt when it's done. So those are 2 of the things. I also bought some more fabric. Imagine that. So I bought this beautiful piece that will also probably be a backing, and another piece of solid blue. Now, I just showed you this blue and white project over here. And so this is going to be the backing for these. So that will get put to use right away. And I've done a lot of shopping, more than I really anticipated, but it's okay. It's been really, really fun. I bought this cute jelly roll of confetti metallic. And I'll go through the fabric first. A couple of fat quarters. A couple little remnants. Got the little turkeys and pumpkins, and this one with the little foxes on it. Little nice little low volume pieces that will be fun to put in. See, these would have been perfect to use in this quilt behind me. So I like to use lots of lots of prints when I do a quilt like that. And so little pieces like this are great to pick up, and I could get plenty of pieces out of that to add to a quilt. And then this cute little piece. So that's all the fabric that I got. I got a couple of notions. I had to replace my retractable scissor thing, and it's a clip reel for holding your scissors. So the last one I had for several years, so I think I pulled on it too hard and it just broke the little string. Darn it all. So got myself a new one of those. And then the rest of it was all patterns and kits and things. So let's see, this was from Village Mercantile. And I got this cute little door hanger. I thought it would be fun to try some wool applique again. I'm kind of getting back into some handwork, so I like the fact that this is a really small project. and it came with all the wool. And then I did a second one. This is one that my husband really liked, so I went ahead and I picked that up so that I could make that for us for the fall. And again, it comes with the full kit. And then a couple episodes ago, I talked about a little squirrel collage that I wanted to do. I haven't started working on that one yet, but I would have to pull the fabrics for it, which is fine. But then I saw this cute little kit, and I thought, oh, this would be a really nice way to start learning how to do collage, because that way I know the fabrics that are in the kit will work for me, and I have one less decision to make. I can just start focusing on learning how to do the collage. So if there's a project that you're wanting to start from scratch, something you haven't done, it might be a really nice idea to do a kit for it. At least that was my thinking. So those are the kits. And then I'll just hold up a few of the little patterns I got. I guess I was kind of starting to think about fall. So I bought some of these cute little postcard patterns. Good for strips and squares. This one was good for a border stripe, and I just like the idea of being able to get the wheels going if I was going to do something with a border stripe. This one, really cute little berries. And this one with pumpkins and acorns. And this one was 18 by 18. It's for the holidays, but I think you could do it with for different holidays, but I particularly like that small one. And let's keep going. Got Saint Nick. That one finishes at 80 by 80. And this one, this cute pumpkin, he's called Enormous, and he finishes at 38 by 56. These are not kits. I just bought the patterns by themselves. One of these days, I'm going to make a sewing machine quilt. I've always wanted to do that, and their version of it was really cute, so I got the pattern. I have some ombre fabrics that I'd like to use, and I thought that this could be a really interesting concept. So a lot of times I buy the pattern so that I can remember the idea of it. And it can be a good jumping off point. I might not make it just the way she did it. So so this one, this is Sweet and Spooky Wool Ornaments. And I do have a tub of wool, already felted wool, and I have plenty of floss to work with that. And so I thought these little guys could be really cute, and I'm pretty sure that I have everything that I need to work on that. Got a pattern for some boxes. More stitchery. Really like the stitchery on that. And I'm going to try a Lori Holt. I've not tried any of hers before, so I thought that would be a really cute one for the kitchen. And that one. These come in a series. Let's see. It says collect all 6. And I'm not intending on doing all 6. I just thought I would do this one. I think finishes at about 18 by 18. So I've got a couple spots in my kitchen that I just thought that this could be really cute just on its own. Otherwise, I think it's pretty pricey for making a single, it's considered a block. to make a single block. I think that's $10 is pretty pricey to do that. But I did like the variety in this, so I think that'll be really fun to work on. I've always wanted to do this one, and so I picked up this pattern. See, I kind of really let myself pick up all the things that I'd been looking at over a long period of time, and hopefully we'll use some of my stash that I have. I really like the idea of this one and using these big prints here. And so I haven't looked at it yet to see what size. I guess I could look at it right now. But again, the concept is that if I have a focus fabric, something that's too pretty to cut up, then what do I do with it? How could I use that in a quilt? Well, this doesn't have to be about a wildlife panel. Once I know the dimensions for this and I can make those stars, I can probably figure out how to use some of my other pretty fabrics in this, and then I've got a great setting for it that'll be really an interesting use for those fabrics. Let's see. I thought this was pretty interesting for using jelly rolls. I do still have a lot of solids in my stash, and so I think it's it could be a really good idea for me to help use up some of my solids. And then one of the last things is I bought this book, which has been out for a while. I think I'm already starting to think about autumn, huh? But again, it's got those cute acorns and the birds, and I really like the sunflower and the pumpkins. And so I think I'll make one of the projects in that book. So that's a lot of stuff, isn't it? That was, like I said, it was super fun seeing how each shop was different, and the fabrics are all different. I think when I do my next one, since I've kind of gotten all the notions. Oh, see, I didn't even bring over. I did buy some thread for my long arm, and I bought some fusible fleece that I was almost out of. Like I only had like a placemat size piece. So I knew I needed that. So I did have a shopping list, and I did get a lot of the things on my shopping list. And then I went totally off my shopping list and indulged myself in getting a whole bunch of new patterns and fun stuff, and had a great time. Each day that I went out, I probably drove about 400 miles in order to complete a whole region. It's about that, more or less, at least from my location. And so, but it's been such beautiful weather, and driving out through the fields in the countryside has just been really, really wonderful, really very peaceful, and I just enjoyed it so much. So I took some pictures of other projects that I saw in the samples. It's really fun to see what samples are in the shops. And one of them that I really wanted to do ended up being from this book. And when I saw the sample, I thought, oh, that looks really familiar. That book looks really familiar. I wonder if I have that. So I came home and looked at it and found it, and here it is. And this is one of the projects that I want to do from it that I really like, that I think would be a good stash buster. So I was really glad that I didn't buy it a second time. I was really pleased with myself that I ended up not making a duplicate purchase on that. And I think that'll be really fun to get that book out again and pick a project from there. So I highly recommend shop hops, especially if you get to go to the shop. I just found it a much better experience than going to the shop hops that are all in one location where they vend and they just set up a booth. This to me was so much more interesting and rewarding because you see the whole shop instead of just a little sampling of it. And the way I approached it is I spent a lot of time plotting out my route on, with my map app and seeing which way would be the best route to take through it. I budgeted not money, I budgeted time. I budgeted 30 minutes in each shop and was able to stay within that fairly closely in order to get to all the shops. And there are prizes. On Facebook, you would have to join the All Indiana Shop Hop group. I've posted several times about the shops that I've been in, and that you go around and you find these little hoppers, the stuffed animals, and take a picture, and that puts you also into the running for some prizes. So if you like to try to get into for those prize drawings, they've got lots of prizes for it too. So as you can see, I have had lots of fun shop hopping around, and I hope that if that was something that you were interested in doing, that maybe hearing about some of my experiences would be really helpful for you. And by the way, the shop owners, the employees, they've all been super nice. I know they're working really hard at trying to put that shop hop on for us. They have extended hours a lot of times from what they regularly do. And I'm sure that that's not easy for them. So I guess that's why I also have tried to buy something in every shop that I go to. I haven't all the time, but I will try to get something from each one of them. So if you have any questions about shop hops, I'm not sure I'm the best person to ask, but you're more than welcome to post a comment in the comment section, and if I have anything I can add to that, I certainly will. So that's about it for now. We're almost into June. Tomorrow is June 1st as I'm filming this. I think you can tell that I have some works in progress that I am going to be hopefully finishing up very soon. And some of these are good projects that kind of fit my original intent at the beginning of the year in terms of working on the older UFOs. And so I'm just going to keep going with that. Some of these newer projects are calling to me as well, so we'll see if I get to work on any of those, like the kits particularly. I'm thinking, where's my little pumpkin one? I think something that size. And like I said, I bought smaller kits so that hopefully I wouldn't be too intimidated to start on them. So maybe I will get to something new next month. I did not start a single new project this past month, which is really unusual for me. So I guess I should pat myself on the back for not starting something new and to continue working on some of these older ones. It feels really good to get some of these older ones to just keep getting them moved along. That feels really good to move them along. And I'd like to think it would make a dent in leave an open space on my shelves when I empty a bin out. So that's still probably going to be the plan for next month. I'm going to try to go to all 53 shops in the shop hop. So that will take quite a bit of time. And I have a couple of customer quilts that I have to work on, and so I'm going to get those done for those folks, and get couple of my own projects quilted up as well. And I don't know if that leaves any other time for traveling or anything else like that. So I'm if June goes as fast as May did, then wow, we're gonna be into September before we know it. It already feels like we're rushing, or just we're really flying through this year. So the other thing I'd like to do today is to give a shout out to my friends Carol and Jen. It's a mother-daughter team at Two Tall Stitchers, and they also have a wonderful YouTube channel where they do mostly cross stitch, some quilting and knitting. And I want to thank them for sending all of their viewers over to me, and I welcome all of you that have come because Carol and Jen told you to check me out. So I appreciate that. That makes such a great community when we can share our knowledge and our friendships around from site to site. So thanks for coming and joining me today.